Good afternoon, students. I am Riya Sinha, your assistant teacher. Today, we are going to start our chapter number 5 of history, that is, what books and burials tell us. First of all, I would like to discuss with you all the meaning of burials. Burials means a place where dead bodies and remains of it are buried. In this chapter, we are going to study what archaeologists used to find from books and burials, what information they used to give us from all these type of contents. Here, first topic is given, one of the oldest books in the world. Now, in this topic, we will find out which is the oldest book in the world. So, let's see that. As you all have heard about Vedas, there are 4 of them. You all have to learn these names: the Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved and Athar Ved. Among 4 of them, the oldest Veda is the Rig Ved, which was composed about 3500 years ago. The Rig Ved includes more than 1000 hymns called Sukta or well said. These hymns are in praise of various gods and goddesses. 3 gods are especially important. First one is Agni, the god of fire. Second is Indra, a warrior god. And third is Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared. So, in this paragraph, till now we have studied that we are having 4 Vedas. And the oldest among them is Rig Ved, which was composed about 3500 years ago. It includes more than 1000 hymns called Sukta or well said. These hymns are in praise of various gods and goddesses. And 3 gods are especially important among them. First is Agni, the god of fire. Second is Indra, a warrior god. And third is Soma. These hymns were composed by sages. Priests taught students to recite and memorize each syllable, word and sentence bit by bit with great care. Most of these hymns were composed, taught and learnt by men only. Women were not used to compose hymns at that time. Very few were composed by women. The Rig Ved is in old or Vedic Sanskrit, which is different from the Sanskrit which we used to learn today. See, a topic is given here, Sanskrit and other languages. Sanskrit is a part of family of languages known as Indo-European. Some Indian languages such as Assamese, Gujarati, Hindi, Kashmiri and Sindhi are Indian languages. Some Asian languages are Persian, and many European languages such as English, French, German, Greek, Italian and Spanish belong to this family. They are called a family because they originally had words in common. Like, for example, take the words Matra in Sanskrit, Ma in Hindi and Mother in English. So, other languages used in the subcontinent belong to different families. For instance, those used in the northeast belong to Tibeto-Burman family. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam belong to the Dravidian family. And the languages spoken in Jharkhand and parts of central India belong to Austro-Asiatic family. You all have to learn these things, the origin of all the languages, from which family they particularly belong to. Now see, the books we use are written and printed. Today, whatever books we are using, these all are written and in printed form we are having it. The Rig Ved was recited and heard rather than read. It was written down several centuries after it was first composed and printed less than 200 years ago. Around 200 years ago it was printed when it was first composed after that. Now, how historians study the Rig Ved? Historians, like archaeologists, find out about the past, but in addition to material remains, they examine written sources as well. Some of the hymns in the Rig Veda are in the form of dialogues, which is part of one such hymn, a dialogue between a sage named Vishwamitra, sage means rishi, named Vishwamitra, and two rivers, Byas and Satluj, who were worshipped as goddesses, given in your book in page number 37. You all can read it from there. So some of the hymns were in the form of dialogues also in Rig Veda. Now see next topic, cattle, horses and chariots. There are many prayers in the Rig Veda for cattle, children and horses. And especially if we are talking about children, then especially for sons, some of the prayers are there. Horses were yoked to chariots that were used in battles which were fought to capture cattle. Battles were also fought for land, which was important for pasture and for growing hardy crops that ripened quickly, such as barley. Some battles were fought for water and to capture people. Here we have learnt about several reasons why battles were fought at that time. So battles were fought for land, which was important for pasture and for growing crops. Some battles were fought for water and to capture people. Some of the wealth that was obtained was kept by the leaders, some was given to the priest and the rest was distributed among the people. Some of the wealth was for the performance of yajna or sacrifices in which offerings were made. We also used to do yajna in Hindu dharma, in Hindu religion. We used to sacrifice something to the god, whichever god we used to worship. So these were meant for god and goddesses only, and offerings could include anything, whether it is ghee, grain, and in some cases animals also. Most men took part in these wars. There was no regular army, but there were assemblies where people met and discussed matters of war and peace. They also chose leaders who were often brave and skillful warriors. So mainly men used to take parts in wars, and there was no regular army at that time, but people met and discussed matters of war and peace. Those who were brave and skillful, among one of them, they became their leaders. Okay, now see the next topic, words to describe people. There are several ways of describing people in terms of the work they do, the language they speak, the place they belong to, their family, their communities, and cultural practices. Some of the words used to describe people found in the Rig Veda also. There are two groups who are described in terms of their work. First is the priest, and sometimes called Brahmins, who performed various rituals, and Rajas. So here we are talking about two terms. First is Brahmins, the priest who used to perform rituals, and the second term is Rajas. These Rajas were not like the ones you will be learning about later, who is having kingdom and everything. They did not have capital cities, palaces or army, nor did they collect taxes. Generally, sons did not automatically succeed fathers as Rajas. So two words were used to describe the people or the community as a whole. One was the word Jan, which we still use in Hindi and other languages, and the other was Vish. The word Vaishya comes from Vish. Several Vish or Jan are mentioned by name, so we find reference to the Puru Jan or Vish, the Bharat Jan or Vish, Yadu Jan or Vish, and so on. So here two important words we are describing, which used to describe the whole community at that time. First one is Jan and the second one is Vish, and further it was improvised as Vaishya. And several Vish or Jan are mentioned by name like Purujan, Bharatjan and Yadujan. Sometimes the people who composed the hymns described themselves as Aryas and called their opponents as Das or Dasis. These were people who did not perform sacrifices and probably spoke different languages from the Aryas. Later, the term Das, and the feminine of it is Dasi, came to mean slave. Slaves were women and men who were often captured in war. They were treated as the property of their owners who could make them to do whatever they wanted. Means those people who were captured in the war, they were considered as slaves, and those who have captured them, they were their owners. They were treated as property of their owners who could make them whatever work they wanted. While the Rig Veda was being composed in northwest of the subcontinent, there were other developments elsewhere also. Hope you all understood the covered topics well. In the next class, we will continue this chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.